Did you miss me? Well, I hope you didn't come here much because I haven't filmed. Yeah, now you get the reason. But it's been a minute. It's been a couple of months. Same reason since I last filmed. So let's get to it. Life update is mostly about the business. We have gone through issue after issue after issue on the business side of things, on top of issue after issue after issue on the personal side of things. So me coming back is just to keep you updated and show you, maybe to let you know that this is just not you going through this, because typically this is not a wave that is happening only in Pauline's. Yeah, the video is not meant for you, so for a minute please. Yes, be quiet. Yes, the people. Oh my god, he's giving a big smile. Yes, I did have a baby, and that journey started sometime, I can't guess proper, could have been May or June, sometime last year. Beautiful baby boy, and I'm so happy about that. And everybody's like, oh my god, when you have a baby, your life is gonna change. Yes, it did change so much. Now my thoughts are around the baby, my schedule is around the baby, my plans, my goals. I did have goals, but now they're more stronger and they are more centered around the baby, which is so cool. And it's some sort of fulfillment that I didn't know I was lacking a little bit, but now that I have it, I'm just glad. I'm like, ooh. And I love the whole entire not the entire, yeah, okay, pardon me right there. Let's take it back. A few moments were not as pretty as they take them to be. The first trimester was horrible when it comes to cravings, emotions, and just skin fading, and you just not having it in anything. Yeah, first trimester I didn't like that much, and then the second trimester was a bliss. I loved that. I had all the glows, I had all the energy. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. And then the anticipation, and then seeing the bump grow, I loved that season. And then the third trimester, same deal. Just only towards the last few weeks is when I felt like overwhelmed, and I'm like, okay, it's not ending. When is it coming? I want the baby. I want him now, and I want it, Anyway, but it later on came. Labor was good at the start. Towards the end, things didn't turn out well because I ended up getting a cesarean, and it was an emergency cesarean. So yeah, not as fun. But when we got the baby back, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I have a baby. After now, I still go through that, and every time I have to pinch myself, I'm like, oh, Paulina, yes, you do have a baby. Yes, I do have a baby, and I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, I love him so much. And I always pull him. I'm like, oh, I love you so much, baby. Anyway, so that's that. One has come with its changes. Mainly those big changes are about my body. Oh my god, I can't believe I have I've fattened up so much. Oh my god. Anyway, that's the part that I don't really like so much about it. Is it's taking long to lose the baby fat, and it's getting to my head, and it's bothering me. And then my mom is always like, oh Pauline, oh tie the stomach, oh Pauline, oh your figure, oh your bodies. And then she's like always cautious about how my body is looking like, and I already know it. I am already seeing the damn changes, and it's so hard to work out with a baby. And I wasn't the person who goes to the gym already. I don't have that energy. I'm not that kind of girl who goes to the gym, but I'm trying. I'm working on it. I'm trying to do the walks. I'm trying to do everything, cutting back on the meals. Actually, I couldn't do it at first because I was breastfeeding, and then I'm like, oh my god, if I don't eat, then the baby won't have milk, and then I was bothered about this and that. It's a lot of stress, and then there's postpartum stress, and hormones and things, but then it gets easier. The baby's growing, so that gives me hope, and I'm like, okay, he's almost there, and by the time he becomes a little bit more independent, I'm gonna be able to go to the gym and go work on myself and get better. So that's that. More back to the business again. So it's been like the business affects my personal life affects the business. That's how I've just been doing the dance, just like that. So the other thing that happened is I ended up now we're having just half of our capacity on the road because one of the trucks is already down, the others are struggling with drivers, the others are struggling with fuel. Even in the dispatch side of things, we see a lot of our clients struggle because some of them don't have money for fuel, so they do a load today and they have to rest tomorrow and then do another one after they've been paid by their factoring company. Do you get what is going on here? And this is just not one carrier, couple of carriers, and that all affects our bottom line. So that has caused a lot of stress on the business as well as ourselves. When I talk about stress, I mean like big, I almost swore, but big issue. Seeing debt pile up in a couple of, with insurance, fuel cards, some services, the subscription services are getting disconnected, and generally things are not happening as they should. So the other thing was in the business at the time when I had just gotten pregnant, we had like major trouble in the trucking side of things. The dispatch was working well and everything. As you know, we have two companies, the dispatch company and the freight company, the trucking company. But the freight company was having a lot of trouble between lack of drivers, like very, very good drivers. That was an issue. And then we had issues with already having bad loads. So the bookings were off, completely off. We were booking spot market mostly because, having started a little bit new, we didn't have a lot of brokers that could sustain us very well on a daily basis with consistent freight or dedicated routes. We didn't have that. So we were relying on the spot market so much, still are. But just a few here and there brokers that help us with some loads, but usually hit or miss. It's not like we're every day they do have loads every day, but it's not like wherever they have them is where the truck is. So at the time, we're beginning almost mid last year, we are having issues with drivers. Drivers are in and out for like a week and out, mostly because the pay is not matching up to anybody's lifestyle. So ideally, and everybody in America knows, ideally somebody needs a minimum of about 1,000 a week. And if somebody can't clock that minimum, yet they come on signing on thinking they're gonna make like 1,000 or 1,500 to the most, and things are not working out well. Most of these guys have families, they have kids, it's not working out. I ended up having to go through a lot of drivers. That puts a lot of pressure on you because the truck is seated sometime, you're looking for a driver, the insurance comes up, you've not worked enough during that month, and then there's all these bills associated with running the company, so they all come up, and it ended up eating down into the profits or even the bottom line. We ended up beginning to pull money from elsewhere to sustain the business, to stay afloat. That was one thing. And then in that process, we ended up hiring bad drivers, or less than skilled, or even hiring them on a whim. It could be going against a lot of things that I've been saying here on the channel. Is this one of the guys actually came with a CDL with many years, but the thing that he did is go through a law breach, and that was crazy. And then as this person was going off, we hired another one, and I think they got rear-ended. all of these accidents are happening right here in New York when they've just picked up the truck just like 300 miles away from their home. So it's funny that all of this was happening, and all of this is happening and bringing stress on me while I'm having all these pregnancy hormones going on. So it was tough. It was tough, and we ended up having one of the trucks sit for the longest time waiting for parts to repair it. So that was hell. That was not nice. Anyway, that ends. So we come on to the next update. We ended up having the next thing happen is the business is running low on cash, and then it's beginning to eat into our personal lives, personal pockets, and then there's not enough money to sustain us. So I end up going back to self-employment. Oh my God, that was a big hit. Oh, I hated that. Oh, it was a big decision. I'm pregnant and I don't want to go back to look for jobs, but I had to. I ended up going to look for a job, and that just shows you in life things do happen, and you have to just do what you have to do. And that's exactly what I did. I just had to do what I gotta do at the moment, and I went and got a job, and was able to come back afloat. So that's the other thing that happened to me. I had to go and find work before I actually wanted postpartum. So I ended up going again, looking for shifts, looking for work, things that I didn't know I was gonna do again. Having started the business in 2020, I was like, I've made it, and this is my dream, and this is how my life should be. I've already done this, now I'm just doing it again. I can't believe God has granted me this, and now I guess there were some lessons that I had to learn. So I'm back and I'm doing the work again on top of running the businesses. So that's not fun, but I'm surviving and we're doing it day by day. We are going through it, and it's all getting better. It's easing up with the bills, it's easing up with the debt, and we are getting rid of a couple of things here and there, and things are stabilizing little by little. But it's stressful at the moment. It's really stressful. When you talk to even other people in the trucking business, it's not just us, it's everybody. And top it off with the economy already being bad, so it's not just the trucking business, it cuts across all businesses. Anyway, because of that, and because of everything going south and everything east west and turning me upside down, I've ended up rethinking my model and rethinking the business altogether, and rethinking my choices. Like, do I want to do this forever? Do I want to continue struggling? I'm like, you nest it out until 5 years, you can't close a business. But I'm really, really entertaining the idea of like just shutting everything out and going back to the drawing board, either to redo the business with someone looking into it, hiring someone, or having the trucks run by somebody else, because obviously there's something that is missing on my end, or completely changing into a new business. And something is in the pipeline. When it materializes, I'll say it, and I'll walk you through the process of how it worked. But right now, nothing has materialized except one thing has happened. Which is the other update, is I decided to go back to school. I can't live my life without a freaking backup. I thought I could do it. I know they always say like, oh, let your plan A be your plan A, or your plan B. I think they say, let your plan A be your plan B, and plan C, and plan whatever. Let it just be one plan and just go at it 1,000%. Yeah, I did. And situations don't allow me, really. I know it might sound like an excuse to some people, but I really think that this is the best for me, and it doesn't work for me to be one of those guys who'll be like, oh, I'll go back to my mom's basement. Hell, my mom's basement is back in Uganda, so I can't do that. And I at my age, I'm not comfortable going back to the basement, or just letting go of things and just trying to pursue this career. And hell, I have a baby now. I can't even just be like, oh, you wait to get your milk, and let's first figure out our dreams. Anyway, now I'm pushed to go back to school. I'll give you an update about that, but I'm hoping this is going to be able to help me in like a couple of years to be able to have a cushion as well as an upgraded pay in terms of how much I make per hour, depending, other than what I'm earning right now, which is jobs that you know you would be able to just pick up out of the whim. I need some kind of profession that I am able to go and sell my service at least part-time, or just full-time, but then be able to run the businesses in the background and go at it further in a better way. All right, so that's mostly up with the updates. I think that's mostly it. I will end it at the school point, and we'll see you in the next one. So if you haven't thought about subscribing, please subscribe to the channel. It's gonna help out a lot. As the algorithm gods, please help me let this video go out and people like it, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Toodles.